Hi, I'm Marcus Hutzel, and in this video we're going to talk about the Movo Double Mic, do some audio tests, and see who this mic might be for, and talk about some of the pros and surprising cons of this mic, so you may want to stick around to the end of this video to see if this microphone is worth it. So this is the Movo Double Mic. It's a dual capsule microphone for use with your DSLR or mirrorless camera or your smartphone. Movo reached out to me and sent me this mic to test out, to use, and to check out its features. I've had it for a few months now, and I've used it a bit, and I'll talk about its pros and cons of what I found. There was no agreement for a video review from Movo for sending me this mic, and any opinions and findings in this video are mine and mine alone. No money changed hands, but I do get to keep the mic. And I'm very appreciative to the people at Movo for sending me this and for answering some questions about this mic very quickly via email. So, as I said, this mic is geared towards use with DSLR or mirrorless style cameras as an on-camera mic, or it can be used directly with your smartphone as well, as long as your smartphone has either a TRRS jack, or you can always use any of the TRRS adapters for your particular brand of phone. It features two mic capsules, one on the front and one on the rear, to be able to capture full fidelity audio from either the front or the rear mic, or both at the same time. It's kind of targeted towards people that may do some vlogging while holding the camera. Hang on, kind of like this. So if you're doing vlogging kind of like this, you can hold it out here, but then if you want to just turn around and get some video of what you were talking about, the rear mic can then pick you up so that you don't have to physically take off the mic, turn it around so you can talk into the proper capsule. Because if you're behind the camera a lot and doing the filming and your main on-camera mic is a unidirectional or single directional mic, like the Movo VXR10 or Rode Video Micro, or pretty much almost any other mic that you purchase for your camera, most of them are single direction. All of those standard unidirectional mics obviously pick up audio most and best from out in front of the mic and are meant to reject sound from the rear of the mic. So if you're behind the camera with a mic like this and talking while vlogging, then typically your voice is going to sound muffled with a standard unidirectional mic or shotgun mic. Hang on, kind of like this. All right, so here we are on my Sony a7 III using the Movo VXR10 on top. And if I were to take this mic and talk out in front of it like this, but then turn it around, because now I'm behind the camera talking, and as you can hear, my voice is muffled because this is a standard unidirectional mini shotgun mic, and it's meant to reject sound from the sides and from behind it, so this is what you get. So if you're using a standard unidirectional mic and you're doing this a lot, the dual capsule option with different brands and manufacturers might be a good choice for you. But real quick, let me just go over the full features and what's included with the mic. Again, the Movo Double Mic features two microphone capsules, one on the front and one on the rear. And you can use either just the front mic or just the rear mic, or both at the same time. It has a selector switch so you can select which capsule or which mic you want to use, push it forwards to the F for front, push it towards the R for rear, or if you put the selector switch in the middle, you get audio from both mics. And again, no matter which mic you have selected or if you have both selected, both the left and right channels in your camera will receive the same audio on both channels. The capsules are both super cardioid pickup patterns, so they are more focused towards the front of the capsule. However, keep in mind that with any supercardioid polar pattern on any mic, the mic will actually have a bit of pickup from the rear as well. And that's just the nature of supercardioid polar patterns. Since they're more tuned to reject sound from the sides, it inherently starts to pick up some sound from the rear. And again, that's just the physics of making a microphone more directional with supercardioid and hypercardioid polar patterns. Whereas other polar patterns, like cardioid, like the Movo VXR10, have more rear sound rejection. The rear mic is less sensitive and or has a quieter output than the front mic, so the level going into your camera from the rear mic will be lower than the level going into the camera from the front mic. And that's because typically in a vlogging situation, you as the operator would be closer to the rear mic while holding the camera, and therefore your voice is going to be louder to the rear mic than someone standing out in front of the camera a few feet away. So having the rear mic's output be lower means you won't clip out the rear mic or that channel on your camera as easily. And that's also typical of other microphones in this category. The double mic has a selector switch that goes between a camera icon and a smartphone icon, which tells the mic which mode to be in for the device you're plugging it into. So obviously select the camera icon if you're plugging it into a DSLR or mirrorless style camera, and select the smartphone icon if you're plugging it into a smartphone. This selector switch routes the audio to the appropriate rings on the TRRS plug for the receiving device. It has a permanently attached coiled cable which terminates in a TRRS plug. But you don't need an adapter to use it with a standard TRS jack like on most cameras. The mic will work just fine in a standard TRS stereo input jack. I didn't initially like the cable being permanently attached because it can mean possibly that if the cable gets broken, you can't just replace the cable. However, being that it is permanently attached means that you'll never forget a cable when throwing this mic into your bag, like I've done with other mics. It includes a shock mount, which is noticeably better than the shock mount that comes with its cousin, the Movo VXR10. This shock mount is a little bit more like a Rycote style shock mount, so there's conceivably more separation and shock absorption due to the suspended design. The shock mount can be mounted in a hot or cold shoe receiver on your camera, but it also has a standard 1/4" 20 hole on the bottom for attaching other mounting options. It has a headphone jack on the mic, but the headphone jack will not send any live audio from either microphone directly to the headphone jack. It will only send audio to the headphone jack from your smartphone when playing back a video or listening to any audio from your smartphone. So if you record a video on your smartphone using the mic, you won't hear yourself while recording. But if you play that video back, you'll hear the recorded audio with that video through the headphone jack on the mic. Or if you use an app like Filmic Pro on your smartphone, then Filmic Pro can send the audio back to the headphone jack on the mic directly with just a slight delay. Since most smartphones have taken away the headphone jack, this mic basically allows input and output to and from your smartphone while connected over a single cable, like this Lightning to TRRS adapter for Apple iPhones. Also, I'll talk about some issues I encountered when using the mic with my iPhone here in a minute. It comes with 2 black foam wind covers, it comes with 2 more furry wind covers, and it comes with a small carrying case. So let's talk about the pros of this mic. Overall, it has pretty decent sound quality. It doesn't have the best sound quality, but nor does it have the worst sound quality. I think the front capsule picks up a little more high end and has a little bit less of a low end response, but that can make your recording sound a little more crisp without a lot of extra EQing. And here's some sound examples for you to listen to. So here's a quick audio example using the Movo Double Mic, the front capsule only, on my Sony a7 III. It's plugged directly into the Sony a7 III, and this is the quality of the mic as I hold my camera, roughly at arm's length out using my Tamron 17-28 lens. So it's about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet away from my mouth right now, and I think this sounds pretty good for what this mic is. And here's what the rear mic sounds like. I'm showing you this video, but you're hearing this audio because this camera is just pointed at my desk showing my other Movo VXR10 sitting right here. So anyway, this is the quality of the rear mic as you would be holding it behind the camera, talking about whatever it is you're filming. And here's one more sound example for you using the Movo Double Mic and just the front capsule boomed up here just out of frame. Now, if you listen very carefully, you're going to hear an audio buzz or hum in this audio, and that's because I found with this mic in particular, I had to use an extension cable, an 1/8" extension cable to get to my camera. And because of that, because it's an unbalanced connection, it picked up a lot of noise just with a 4-foot extension cable. Now, any unbalanced connection, if it runs for long enough, is susceptible to picking up noise, but I just found that this one picks up a lot of noise regardless of how long the extension cable is, so I think it's best suited to just sit on top of your camera using the included cable. Again, the shock mount that comes with the Movo Double Mic, in my opinion, is a little bit better than the one that comes with its cousin, the Movo VXR10. This one's not a great shock mount. It's a great clip, but not a great shock mount. This one, since it is suspended a little bit more like a Rycote, does give a little bit more shock absorption to the mic overall. Having a rear-facing mic is great, and I've found that it's useful when I'm filming something where I'm in front of the camera, but then need to maybe pick up the camera and get that quick close-up of something while I'm behind the camera operating. But I still want to talk about what I'm filming. I can just quickly switch the mic to the rear capsule instead of having to completely take off the mic and turn it around. It's priced less than something like the Deity D4 Duo, but of course you get one less feature of being able to split the audio into 2 different channels. It's simple and has easy controls, and since it doesn't split the audio when you select microphones, you won't have to figure out which channel the front and rear mics go to, and you won't have to dump your video into video editing software and mix the audio. The mic does that for you. And having the cable permanently attached means you won't forget to put a cable in your bag. Now for some cons and some interesting findings. The attached cable, I just listed it as a pro because you won't forget a cable, but some users may not like it because if it wears out or breaks, you can't replace it. And that's a valid point. I think I would prefer that a mic be able to send its front and rear capsules to the left and right channels on the camera respectively. And I asked Movo why they did this, and their reply was simple, and I think it makes sense. Basically, they stated that separating out the channels means that you'll have to be more versed in video editing and the production and technical side of software to be able to do it properly to edit the video. And they figured simply making either or both mics just go to both channels of your camera would be easier for people that either don't have time, don't want to, or are simply unfamiliar with more advanced video editing tools and software like Premiere Pro, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, etc. So basically, recording with the Movo Double Mic means that what you select on the mic is what you get audio-wise in the recording. Because if it did separate out audio like some other mics in this category, you would have to edit that video. Otherwise, you'd hear the front mic on your left and the rear mic on your right. So more advanced mics means more advanced skills that you'll need to be able to edit and hand off a video file. Fewer features, less editing required. That being said, I did come across some fairly bad results when using this mic outside, as it just does not have very good wind protection against the wind using either the black foam windscreen or the more furry wind cover. Let's take a look and listen to some outdoor tests. All right, so what I wanted to check by coming out to this field this morning was the kind of audio levels of the Movo Double Mic. The Sony a7 III is currently set on audio level 2 for this mic. There is a lot of ambient noise. It's a bit far away. There's traffic in the distance. There's a plane going overhead right now. And I just wanted to see what the level is of me holding my camera at arm's length and just talking at basically a normal speaking voice to see how much sound this mic picks up versus something like the VXR10, which we'll test next. So you can hear all the sounds of the morning going on around me, and here in a sec I'll go nearer the road so we can have more traffic noise next to me as I try to vlog on the Movo Double Mic. And this is the Movo VXR10. We'll see how these sound when we get to editing, and this is just a difference in sound of the Movo VXR10 that I'm currently using versus the Movo Double Mic. Ambient noises around. Someone has stopped, hopefully not watching what I'm doing in the middle of this field. So this is the Movo Double Mic and a little bit of wind. You can hear that the wind, even though I have the furry wind cover on, is distorting the capsule. So if you can hear, all the distortion you're actually hearing is from the wind hitting the side of the mic, not from it being too much level from the noise or the traffic. Alright, so for comparison, here's the Movo VXR10. It is, again, on top of my Sony a7 III. I've dialed the audio gain on the camera down to 2 to compensate for the loud traffic that's next to me. But I think the Movo VXR10 definitely provides more wind protection from its furry wind cover than the Movo Double Mic does from its furry wind cover. So if you're going to be outside in a windy environment, there are other microphones other than the Double Mic that perform better in this scenario. Alright, so I wanted to do my due diligence and do another test out here in the wind. The wind today is a little bit stronger than it was the other day, but it's still very light. I'm using Filmic Pro, so I am able to hear myself back through Filmic Pro through the headphone jack on the Movo Double Mic. Slight delay, sometimes it's a little hard to talk when you hear yourself back on a delay, but I'm obviously able to do it well enough. So right now, just the front mic. I did again have to turn the audio meters down in Filmic Pro to account for the wind hitting the capsule, because that's making the audio input on the iPhone clip out. So I had to bring it down to account for the clipping of the wind, which you're getting a little bit right now. But not probably the best mic for this situation. And honestly, the wind right now is probably a little stronger than I would want to have any microphone out here in the wind without, a big blimp over it. So just keep those things in mind. Again, this test not completely unusable as I'm hearing it live right now while recording. So as you can hear, the Double Mic, even with the furry wind cover, just does not protect against even the slightest wind. And I was curious if this was a problem, so I watched a couple of other videos on the Double Mic, and this seems to be the case in general, not just with my unit. This is unfortunate because the Movo VXR10 with its included furry wind cover actually works fairly well in the wind. So I think the sound quality you get from the Double Mic is really pretty good. It's just going to be more useful for good quality recordings if you keep it indoors, away from any sort of wind or breeze interference. And I actually did try using both the black foam windscreen and trying to put the furry wind cover over top of that, and it really didn't help. and it's really hard to install both of them. I don't think they're designed to be put on the mic at the same time. Also, I got some strange noise when using this with a smartphone, with the selector switch towards the smartphone icon and using a TRS to Lightning style adapter for my iPhone. I was getting this clicking sound that got recorded into the track, and it seemed to be caused by probably some sort of wireless interference from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or maybe cellular connections, because these problems went away when I put my phone in airplane mode. So this is a quick test to see if we can hear that kind of ticking sound that I'm getting on some of my recordings when using the Movo Double Mic. I'm going to boost the audio here, and then we'll listen to it quietly real quick. Here we go. So this ticking noise, although minor, was still present and was a little bit unexplainable as to what was causing it, so it's something to be aware of and listen out for. I'm also just not a big user of using my smartphone for recording video. I might use it for a quick clip here and there, but if I'm going to record a video, it's most likely going to be with one of my more professional cameras. So overall, the Movo Double Mic has decent sound quality, but I found the lack of wind protection with either of the wind covers inadequate for even the slightest wind. I'd say this mic is best suited for indoors in quieter and controlled environments, and that's how I've been using it for doing some vlogging on some projects in my garage, and then putting the selector switch to the rear and being able to be behind the camera and film the project without having to flip the mic around. That feature is very handy. So that's it. Those are my findings. I do wish the Movo Double Mic had a little bit better wind protection, or really any wind protection, so that I could use it out in the world and know that I get good clean audio. But unfortunately, I think the wind protection for me means I have to keep it indoors in my studio, so that's where I'll be using it. Thanks again to Movo for sending me this mic. Good luck, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.